This is going to be a good episode, but yeah, anyway, go on.
Welcome to the Chronically Offline show. Today I'm going to be asking Izzy, what is a woman? I don't know what women are. What are women? We've heard a lot of talk about women and what's required of you to be a woman. And I asked in a previous video where you place your worth as a woman. Where do you feel you fit as a woman? Like, what is your worth tied to? You said that being a mother is a big part of your womanhood. And if you've been living under a rock, womanhood broadly refers to the state, condition, or quality of being an adult woman. It spans the period of a woman's adult life and encompasses the unique biological, psychological, cultural, and social experiences, traits, and shared identities associated with women's. So I've got some just like straight to the point questions for you to begin with. Where do you think the line is drawn that says someone is no longer a man or a woman?
When it comes to like the definition of a man and a woman, is there a line? Not particularly. It's whoever you say you are. Now, whether the general public accept you, I can't be the person to speak on that.
Do you think there's gatekeeping of womanhood against trans women?
So, of course, there's going to be some gatekeeping from cis women when it comes to being a woman. I think because, again, women have struggled themselves for a very long time to get to where they are today and continue to do so. So, not that I agree with it, but I can understand why women gatekeep certain things.
That brings me on to my next thing about conceiving children. And I have a video about this, but some women can't conceive or just simply don't want to. And I've heard some say, I have freedom of my time, my mornings, energy, and body is mine. Meaning that they don't have to wake up every day and look after another being. And so I've got a video to show you about a woman who's just talking about why she doesn't want kids.
Contributing to the declining birth rate. We don't want children, we're child free. And we knew from very early on in our marriage that we did not want children. We've been married for 12 years this October. And I want to say a few months in, because y'all know when you start getting married, everyone is up your hoo-ha asking you when you're going to have a child. When are you going to push one out? Oh my goodness, when are you going to bring a baby? And every time I got those questions, I was like, what is wrong with these people? I don't think I want a child. I don't think I want a child. Now, luckily, but literally no one around me had ever questioned that, ever. I had never heard another girl say they don't want children.
So, yeah, I mean, it's valid to not want to have children. People should be under no obligation to have children. That's her experience, that she didn't have anyone say that to her growing up. Now, my mum, she had 4 kids and she told me, don't fucking have kids. Do not fucking do it. I'm not fucking kidding.
My mum had 5, and she says the opposite. She loves when she gets a new grandkid.
Well, my mum's barely there, so that says it all, really, doesn't it?
Do you think it's either like taking away from womanhood or empowering it for women to not have children? Obviously, it's everyone's choice, but
it's empowering, really, because you should be able to make that choice. It makes a difference to me. Do you know what I mean? I think that is the beauty of having like freedom of choice. So
yeah, do you think there's a lot of women that think that it's expected of you to have a child, and that's some pressure that she's going through?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think there is absolutely pressure. Like after I had my child, I have had people after that have been like, when you having another? When you have compare me to do that again. And then obviously people, I've had like other different types of comments when I got sterilized and stuff. People like, oh, you regret that when you're older. Honestly, I promise you, you'd want more when you're older, you know, and it's nobody's place to be dictating that, you know. So
very nice points. I wanted to talk about PCOS.
Yeah.
Because it's very common. So for people that don't know, PCOS is a common endocrine disorder that affects over 10% of women. So you get irregular or absent menstrual periods, hyperandrogenism, weight changes, skin issues, fertility struggles. I've got a question. If a womanhood is defined by periods, pregnancy, or hormones, in some people's mindsets, where does that leave women who have had hysterectomies, gone through menopause, or were born without a uterus? Does that woman expire or become less of a woman as her body changes?
Not at all. To me, like, you're still a woman and you're still worthy, because look, at the end of the day, obviously circumstances are different, but whether it's your chromosomes or it's your ability to have children or not, or if you've experienced period pains, you know, XY, there's different things to it, obviously, right? To me, it's nuanced, right? And I just don't think it makes you less of a woman because you haven't or can't go through them things in life.
Yeah, so I was looking at studies and stuff, and I found a study that looked interesting to begin with, and then I started reading it, and I was just like, oh, this study was done by a man. I will show a snippet of the study on screen. As women with PCOS are challenged in their perceptions of themselves as feminine because of their hairy appearance, off to a bad start already, irregular menses and lack of fertility, and this influences their gender roles. Medical practitioners must understand how PCOS precisely affects women's roles and initiate management aimed at reconstructing their womanhood along with medical treatment. So this study also suggests women are lacking womanhood if they have PCOS, which basically just reduces their womanhood to having periods of giving birth. So I've got a question for you. Is it fair to women with PCOS, even studies trying to understand the condition are saying that womanhood is at risk? Just because they have PCOS, their womanhood is at
No,
risk.
because they've got different experiences around that. Like, look, you can have I know people that have PCOS but still get like period pains. They might not have like periods, but
you might not have all 5.
Exactly, but you get things that come along with it and stuff.
Okay, well, let's talk about looks. When I want to talk about like social expectations and stuff. When trans women pass, in quotations, they face the exact same misogyny cis women do.
Yeah.
But should we really be defining womanhood by the trials and tribulations women endure? By tying your identity to suffering, aren't you just internalizing misogyny?
No, it's the reality of life. Not me that set. It's not. It's not. Hey, it's not women that set that up, mate. I'm not being funny, but no, I think you can't live in a cuckoo land. Wouldn't it be great that I could walk down the street in the middle of the night and feel safe? That'd be fantastic. But unfortunately, that's not the world.
Yeah, but the question I'm asking is like, should that be the definition of womanhood, the hardship that you've gone through, or is there more to it?
There's more to it. I think there's more to it, for sure. I think obviously it's a different combination of things.
Combination in the nation.
Just as much as it probably is for men, isn't it? You probably can say that like being a man is a combination of many different things and experiences through your life, right? From childhood, teenage years, and adulthood, and so on. So
yeah, so I have a video to show.
Proof that womanhood and femininity performance.
As a biological
It's a stitch to the person that you were.
I don't think you're correct in that statement.
Yeah.
I've never felt like my womanhood was a performance. I never felt like I was acting as a woman. I grew up on a farm. I grew up as a tomboy, if you will. I didn't grow up doing the traditional things that women were meant to do, and that's by a man's standard. That's the thing. And I think you have this notion. I think you have the notion of what a man's idea of a woman is. And that might be why you're coming to the correlation that it is a performance, but womanhood isn't a performance.
So that was about the person that you were.
Come on as a guest. Let me talk to you. I'm nice.
Yeah.
I promise I'm nice. I'm not a
So they
grifter.
believe, so they believe that, well, she believes that gender is a costume that we all wear. So that basically is saying that all of the hardships that women have gone through, like, are thrown to the side because it's just a costume. It's just a performance. So is womanhood defined by the fight for equal rights, like the right to work or open a bank account? If so, does that mean women living in countries with fewer rights are somehow more or less of a woman?
No, I don't think they're less at all. I think, if anything, they're actually stronger than a lot of the women in the West. Actually, look, right, because as much as women, we are oppressed in the West, of course, but we still are a lot more privileged than a lot of, I don't even know, are you allowed to say developing countries anymore? I don't know. I don't think you meant to say
I mean,
third world.
if they're economically and structurally developing at this moment, yeah, they're developing countries.
Right, then compared to like developing countries where, such as, I can't remember the country, you can add which country it is now, that women cannot even speak in public. Now, call me, like, I'm not going to sit here and say there isn't issues in the West. Of course, as I've mentioned in videos of my own, we are going through an epidemic of R-word in the UK against women and children. So that comes with its own problems. I just think I would not. I think I would just not want to be in developing countries. I know my privilege, if that, I just know that I have it lucky. Sorry, I have it lucky.
We were sending some videos out today.
I feel like I'm at a therapy session, which have been deleted now, by the way.
Oh, you actually deleted them?
Yeah. Okay, no,
Okay, well, we don't have to talk about them then.
No. I kept the original one that I stitched to this one that we've just played. I mean, I can give you my take on it because obviously I only get like a minute from that video. You take about a minute from it. But
Yeah, because people have listened to your videos and they've either misunderstood you or
transphobic.
you might not have said the right words for their brains to understand, but I'd like you to maybe just go over.
Now, basically, what the person that stitched it said, honestly, like, I didn't grow up very like feminine. You know, actually, my mum would behind my back tell my relatives that I look like a man. And my mum, yes, oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, she went to my grandmother once and was like, Isabel looks like a man. It's like, so anyway, so I did very much myself grow up quite like a tomboy, I guess. So I think, yeah, it's not a costume, because to me, even though I dressed that way and looked that way, that didn't define me as a woman. That was not it's not the costume, right? So I don't know how to put it. It's just a very unique experience. And I understand, obviously I don't stand as much as people are saying in my comments that apparently I'm standing for transphobia. I'm not standing for transphobia. I literally just had a comment being like, see, you like this comment, you're standing for transphobia. I'm like, where does it say that it only meant women? Like, to me, it's a very sacred thing. Like, no one, you can never take some things from women. I'm fucking sorry. I know I'm going to sound transphobic. I know I am, but there is, like, to me, like motherhood, having that bond with your child is so sacred that your own body releases certain hormones when you are around your biological child. And that is a thing that is, I'm sorry, exclusive to cis women, because that is literally your like fucking hormones. Because what happens, especially when you give birth and you've got a newborn, when your baby cries, you naturally produce milk. Your own body will hear the cries. This is factual. You can fact check me and you will just leave milk, because there's that connection. And for the first good, I think 6 to 9 months after giving birth, your baby shares the same immune system as the mother does. Now, you cannot fucking, I will have no one try and tell me that's a fucking costume. How dare you belittle it down that to a costume? That is just, and I'm not trying to sound like transphobic when I say it, but that is biology. And I'm fucking sorry. There is some things like that you cannot change. You can be a woman and your version of a woman. No one is stopping you from that. And I think good on you. Good on you for doing what makes you comfortable in your body and happy. There is fucking lines
for them will be very different than
exactly, and that is okay. That is okay, but it's not my place to speak on a trans woman's experience of how she views herself as a woman, and it's not a trans woman's place to speak on my experience as a cis woman, as a mother. That's it. And I think I've explained it maybe a little bit better this time, because that's it, really. I think that's why women get offended, because there's so much to do with our own bodies. Like, I don't, and I'm going to again try and say this I'm going to tread carefully with this. So, obviously, hormones change when you take like estrogen, whatever, and testosterone and stuff, which, that's fair enough. I don't know how much that can change a lot of stuff, because don't take them. I've only taken synthetic ones when it's been contraceptive pill, because that can change somewhat of your hormones, right? But there hormone changes in women is so much stronger and worse than it is for men. Now, we can insert a chart somewhere. I'll send you one, Mason, or whatever. But if you look at two graphs next to each other and you look at the difference between a cis man's hormones through a month and a cis woman's hormones through the month, which are like that, men, it's a little tiny little bit. But women's, it's like that, right? And someone told me that's a fucking costume. Do you know, I've got PMDD, and do you know how hard that is? I wanted to die yesterday, and I forgot to take my meds today. And this is going to be a good episode, but anyway, go on.
I don't have it in here, but I wanted to briefly talk about the way women have been looked at in society by men. How has it felt to you? How have you been viewed, and how does it make you feel?
Like growing up and stuff, how my physical appearance. Oh, well, I'm a bloke, aren't I? I'm a bit of a fanny muncher. No, right,
So
because it's actually...
So I'm asking, like, have you been sexualized and stuff?
Of course.
Like, even though you feel like you've been told you look like a man.
They must be gay then, because if I'm a man then and you're a man, we'll touch your willies. So, right. Yeah, of course I've been sexualized and objectified, especially because I suppose I'm quite, I mean, if you want to call me alternative or whatever, I'm quite heavily tattooed and stuff. So you do kind of draw that kind of demographic. But I mean, for me, I can kind of just deal with it. Not that you should have to, but it's just kind of how you are trained, I suppose, to deal with that kind of shit. So yeah, that's it really.
So yeah, I wanted to talk about matriarchs.
Okay.
And how they existed, and how
no!
fun they...
Oh, it's some hormones. It's hormones.
Yeah, and how fun a matriarch seems. Like, wish I was in one. But basically, when societies had matriarchs in history, womanhood was based in different qualities. Like, was often tied to leadership, wisdom, community stewardship. The patriarchy has told women that their worth is their ability to give birth, and women have internalized that to some extent in some women, and they believe that's what makes a woman. How do you think it would be in a matriarch? The thoughts on like giving birth, and like, do you think that more women would give birth under a matriarchy? So there's less pressure.
I think it'd be less. I think it'd probably still be less, because they'd have that less pressure on them from like men wanting like families and stuff, and I think it'd be less, honestly. But I think also they'd be more wanted pregnancies and wanted children. Do you know what I mean? Like more planned pregnancies, personally, I feel like, because they'd get the say on that more. So, yeah, that's my take on it. I think so.
Yeah. What's the most famous matriarch?
Me, mum.
What's her name? Your mum. Cleopatra.
Cleopatra.
Cleopatra. I didn't even say that. I said Cleopatra. But sure.
Go back on the recording. You said Patria, mate.
Would you have liked to live under Cleopatra?
No, because I've
Obviously the healthcare was very bad.
I was more about the sun, to be honest, because I burn really easily. Do you know what I mean? I've not last 2 minutes in Egypt like that. Are you kidding me? Are you having a fucking laugh? No, thank you.
What's your I've got one last question. Like, what's your ideal version of the world when it comes to womanhood?
To womanhood. We should be able to have freedom of choice without judgment from any gender. Just leave people the fuck alone, and if it's not hurting you, do you know what I mean? It's people want kids, they can have kids. If they don't want kids, they don't want kids. That is okay. If they want to look feminine, they can look feminine. If they want to look masculine, they can look masculine. You know, if people want to be bisexual, they can be bi, lesbian, whatever. If they want to be a trans man, you can be a trans man.
So going back to the beginning of the video, how can you really say if someone is a woman or not if the experience of womanhood is different all around the world? The answer is we can't really.
Me, I was about to have an answer.
No, you can answer it. Like, that's what my answer is. That I don't think
you can't. Yeah, you can't really. Even as like non-cisgendered women have their own experiences. People of different ethnicities have their own experiences as well. I think with being a woman, yeah. We made comparisons today between like trans people and women with PCOS who might have fertility struggles and like they might wish to have kids but they can't. So like people saying that trans women aren't women just doesn't make any sense because just because they don't have the ability to have kids. So yeah, I just think that there's no real way of saying what a man or a woman is. No, I just think people should be careful and just be respectful, because if you're gonna go to cis women and say that their womanhood is a costume, they're gonna be pissy about that. I'm fucking sorry. I don't make the fucking rules.
Yeah, I don't even think that's the same for men. I believe that being a man is a costume at this point. Under the patriarchy, like being a man is a costume. Like around other men. It's not even the women that this costume's for. Men are just like pretending, oh, I'm as manly as you or whatever, when there's no such thing. So yeah, it's a very difficult question to answer. But if anyone has any other thoughts about womanhood, what your experience has been as a woman, if you are one. If you're a big batty girl, share some images in the in the comments of your big batty girl. Yeah, don't do that because we will get your message or your comment taken down. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe if you want to hear more. We're gonna have a video on gender again soon.
Hoping to get some guests on.
Group. Yeah, if you want to be a guest on the Chronically Offline show, literally
throw some balls
we will stalk you. Yeah,
because I'm not being funny.
Stalk you immediately.
I get so many fucking comments on my TikTok, but not one of you's got the balls to talk to me. Like, and the thing is, I'm not gonna argue with you. We don't argue on here. We don't debate. We just have civil discourse. It's very chill. Long as you're over the age of 18, which apparently me even saying to someone if they're over the age of 18 is transphobic, you can come on the show.
What?
Yes. Because I said they looked young, and they're like, "This is what we mean. Us trans men, we're like got baby faces," and I'm like, "No, you've just got to be over 18 to be on our show when you look really young."